All right, what's going on, big dogs? So we are back, and I don't even know where to begin with this one. When I first heard of this story, I thought no way this could happen. In no way was someone actually going to try it and do this. But here we are at the tail end of 2024, and Lily Phillips has taken 100 rounds of meat with 100 different guys in under 24 hours. I know that can be a lot to take in, no pun intended, but this crazy bitch actually did it, and I know what you're thinking. Where was my invite, right? And we'll get to that. Now, I'm joking, of course, but this is a wild story, so you're going to want to buckle up for this one. So Miss Phillips here is an OnlyFans model, if you want to call her that, and she set out to do the impossible and take down 100 men in 24 hours. And she did this by posting an ad for men who wanted to participate in said activity, and then hand selected 100 of the men from there. Now, I don't know if this was like a, audition. Was this like America's Got Talent where you show up and you have to, show what you're made of, show what you got, or if this was more of like a Tinder style thing where she looked at the guys and kind of just was like, yeah, or nah. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming it was more of like the Tinder idea where she kind of just picked the guys based on how they looked, which is honestly probably the cleanest thing she could have done. I mean, how wild is it that she would do this in the first place with just 100 men? So at least, she hand selected dudes, and I'm sure everyone had to get tested and all that jazz beforehand. Because let's be real here, if she had just let the first 100 guys who signed up take their shot at her, she would have had to go through some really dirty dudes for sure, especially since this was posted on her OnlyFans. So it was like all of her subscribers who got in on this action, and I guarantee you most of them are just filthy dudes. I guarantee you most of them are just the creepiest of guys, the most desperate of degenerates out there. Now, they each got 2 to 5 minutes to do their deed and go on with their day. And she ended up completing her goal in just under 16 hours, I believe is what I read. But I don't think I really need to explain how gross and messed up this is. Like, to actively go out of your way to get dicked down by 100 literal strangers should probably be marked down as a mental disorder, because this is just disgusting. So I did some quick math and really fucked up my search history and found out that the average guy's unit when hard is 5 inches. So multiply that by 100 and you get 500 inches. And then you add in how many pumps, how many reps these guys got in there. And I bet she took a solid mile of meat. I bet she took a full fucking mile of man meat. Like, I'm sure her parents must just be so proud of their daughter's accomplishments at this point. Maybe she'll pin this right on the top of her Steam page and wear this like a badge of honor or something. Like this is the ultimate achievement of her life. She has perfected the game of doing dudes. Now, I want to make something clear here before I go on too much of a tyrant. Yes, she did this to herself, and no blame should be taken away from her or for how she feels after the fact, which we'll get into that later in the video. But what the fuck is wrong with the dudes out here? How down bad do you have to be to get on a train of this size? Like, all I can think about is how gross it must be down there after taking even just 5 rounds of meat. Like, the best spot is clearly the first person in line, and after that, you're just going downhill from there. It ain't clean. You ain't going in there clean. She just got pounded 30 seconds ago, and now you're about to dive on in like it's fucking Gordon Ramsay prepared meals? Hell no. I'll pass on that every day of the fucking week. Like, come on, fellas. We cannot be falling victim to shit like this. Like, I seriously cannot wrap my head around what the guys were thinking when they were like, oh, I'm gonna get my chance with Lily Phillips. Like, is she hot? Yeah, she's an attractive looking individual, but is it really worth being like number 20 even? No. If you're not number 1 or like number 2, I'd maybe give you number 2. You're just going in there in the most disgusting of conditions, I can only imagine. So I can't imagine how down bad these guys must have felt in order to even sign up for this, let alone to continue and participate in this activity. Like, I am genuinely more upset with the guys in this situation because you have to think about it from this perspective. She went out of her way, right? She posted an ad. She did all these things in preparation for this activity. And all guys had to do to stop this from happening was fucking say no. All guys had to do was not participate, in something this disgusting and this degenerate would not have happened. But of course, there's that many down bad dudes out there, because nowadays all guys just seem to be down bad for some reason. And they signed up, they did their deed, and they went on their merry way, I guess. But the 100 dudes that participated, or the 101, I guess, was the total count at the end of it all, that participated in this should feel just as bad as she does. And that's the other point that I wanted to make here, is that she clearly does not feel good about the situation. So after she had done this whole ordeal, there was a YouTuber, his name escapes me for the moment, but he did like a documentary on this entire situation, because not only did she sleep with these 100 dudes, but she recorded all of this for content purposes. So all of this is going to be published onto her OnlyFans at some point, I'd imagine. It's just basically backlogging content is the way you can put it, which is fucking weird to put it that way, but that's what she's doing. She's backlogging content. And after she did her deed here, she actually was getting interviewed by this guy. And I'll show a quick clip here, but she was legit crying after the entire situation happened.
I think sometimes like feeling so like robotic, like by the, I think like the 30th, you know, like when we're getting on a bit, I've got like a routine of like how we're gonna do this, and like it just, sometimes you'd like disassociate and be like, you know, like it's not like normal sex at all.
So as you can see, she's in tears. She doesn't know how to feel about the situation. She goes on and talks about how she didn't even like know any of the people. Like she said she could only remember maybe 5 or 6 of the 101 guys that she was with, which is just sad. Like this whole situation is really just a sad situation. It's crazy to think that society nowadays is so involved in this type of culture. Like OnlyFans is so popular and so big because of stuff like this. OnlyFans would not survive if it wasn't for girls like this. OnlyFans would be just a very shitty Patreon if it wasn't for people like this. And if it wasn't for sick fucks on the internet who want to partake in this stuff. I just can't get my head to wrap around why anybody would want to partake in this. And now, after this, she has stated that she wants to do 1,000 men in 24 hours, which I'm no mathematician, but that math ain't mathin'. If it took you 16 hours beforehand to do 100, right, you have to multiply that by another 100. So you're looking at a few days, probably over a week, I would imagine, of time spent just getting raw dogged, which is, I can't explain how just disgusted I would be with society if 1,000 suckers signed up for this, because I doubt any of these dudes are like getting paid or anything. They just get to be in a video with her, which is not any reason that you should ever want to sleep with someone like this. But this whole situation is just been absolutely wild. It's been absolutely crazy. I can't believe that somebody actually pulled this off. Like, I'm laughing, but it's gross. I think everybody out there can agree that this is a gross situation. And I hope to God, I really do. I hope that she kind of comes to her senses. Like, I think everybody's redeemable. I hope she comes to her senses and, you know, decides that this isn't what she should be doing. Like, there's a lot more to life than just being raw dogged 100 times a day. But, you know, if she's going for this 1,000, I guess I'll be here to make a video on it if she actually pulls it off. But yeah, that's really the whole situation, guys. She pulled it off. She got her schmeat timing in. And she was able to achieve her goal, I guess, is probably the way to put it at the end of the day. But that's really all I have for you guys today. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, remember to please leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a comment what you think of this fucking of this situation right now, because I am at a loss for words. I was up all night playing games and streaming some Path of Exile 2, and then one of my buddies happened to mention it to me that she actually finally did it. And so I just had to hop on here and make a quick video at 3 in the morning. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. Again, if you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Links to all my socials will be down below. Thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. And until the next video, guys, Godspeed.
I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me.